All right. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. I'm Shane. This is Richard. We're from the Rogue Trader Academy, and this is the rambling live stream for gravity. And if you stick with us, well, what do we talk about? We talk about mostly Bitcoin stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly. So we have a fund. I'll show you that in a second. How you can find that fund or other funds if you want to invest in funds. And we sort of give us what we've done. Some of the great things they've done and some of the not so great things they've done and what we're looking to do now and in the future. I realize I'm not sharing my screen, so let me go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. So we had a bit of drama. Oh, what's going on here? I didn't mean to do that.
Great.
I didn't mean to do that. I moved the thing.
Oh yeah, you moved the thing around. Oh dear.
But it should be okay, I think. Oh, there we are. There. Now that's right. Wrong one. See this? Yeah. Anyways, look, we just had a bit of a drop. Well, we had a big bump up yesterday, right? We had a big run up.
Let's just quickly talk about what we predicted last week. I think last week we were concerned that the market might drop down to the mid-90s.
Yep.
We were hoping to pick up some more Bitcoin back down there. We didn't quite get down there, but we were able to pick up some in the high 90s.
Yeah, and you can see I've got orders down here in the 80s just for, in case something got really stupid.
Yeah.
But, we had clear rejection. We came down. Everybody thought it was going to hit 100. It didn't.
Yeah.
And we're back up. So, sorry, carry on. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, so I think I also went on last week about how the tech market in TradFi is about to implode and that take Bitcoin with it. And I think there was a small danger of it happening last week. Didn't quite happen yet, but I think that's still on the cards. And so I think our thesis is that until something changes materially, we go sideways in a range, and there is a danger of a downside drop. And I still maintain there's zero danger of Bitcoin going to the moon this year.
Well, we can look at this. All I want to point out here is nothing extraordinary. Just basically sort of a trend. This is sort of the upper limit-ish area. Around 106, 107, 108. Up there, and on the bottom we've got this 100K, 101, 102. That I think that we're just going to play that trend. So if we zoom back out, we'll just play this trend until it breaks.
Yeah.
If we get any extraordinary moves up, like up to 110, 112, 114, well then we'll be shorting.
Yeah.
If it comes down here, if we're long, we'll take a loss. We'll just take it off the table, or maybe we'll short. But it's a bit of a dangerous game because a lot of people started shorting here. They got hammered. They shorted here. They got hammered. Okay, how many times you get nailed? But eventually, all support and all resistance breaks at some point in the future. But so you're talking too about MicroStrategy in the Bitcoin.
Yeah. So I mean,
MicroStrategy. We're talking about the stock MSTR, right?
Yeah. So it's now called Strategy. Michael Saylor's treasury company. So that's now. I think the average purchase price of Bitcoin in that company is now above where we are.
Oh, really?
I think, yeah. It certainly is for things like Strive and other DATs. But also with MicroStrategy, what the telling thing is that the MNAV, the multiple of NAV in their stock price, is constantly dropping. And it's now down to 1.22 on their own website. And colleagues of mine tell me it's really not 0.98. So what they're telling me is if you buy MicroStrategy stock, you are actually buying Bitcoin at a discount now. And that kind of tells you, that implies to me that enthusiasm for the leveraged Bitcoin trade is waning rapidly on Wall Street, and that has to bleed through to the rest of the crypto market. What I was also watching last week was Zcash.
Oh yeah, Zcash, yeah.
And in fact, my wife sold all her Bitcoin and bought Zcash. This is not a recommendation, but I love my wife. And so Zcash, in simple terms, is basically Bitcoin, but with privacy. It's limited supply, same algorithm, but with built-in privacy, which is kind of everything that you expected out of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin didn't. Bitcoin became the sort of government turncoat, and has become TradFi, whereas Zcash is still guerrilla,
So
hedging.
I remember you talking about Zcash about a week ago, and I was busy. I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But so how do they protect your, and I'll say privacy, not privacy, but
Oh, so
how does that work?
the technical details I haven't looked into,
Okay,
which is
all right.
bad of me because I'm a programmer and I should.
We should, yeah.
But the long and short of it is it was Bitcoin taken over by this. He forked it, and it's this strange kind of guy dresses in women's clothing, and actually when that news broke out, the Zcash dropped $100 in price, but it's recovering now. So people have got over the shock.
Well, when I looked at it, it was up like 1,000% or something last week, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone up from like pennies to
Sure.
like $500. So I'm not saying it's going to continue. I'm just saying that I personally, well, first of all, I like this for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thesis is that eventually people will figure out you can have more than one Bitcoin, and at that point, all bets are off because Bitcoin becomes a shitcoin, right?
No.
I haven't got it on here.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, yeah. So recommendation to Gravity, get that on the platform. And secondly, yes, it promises to deliver everything that we thought Bitcoin would deliver, i.e., money free of government interference. So, and I think for that reason, it's sort of become popular. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What we should do is for next time, we should just dig in a little bit into what makes their privacy. Well,
Yeah.
If it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be a big lie. It could just be a
big scam. I mean,
an NSA shill.
who knows? You can see here. So this is the fund. This is the live trading fund. You can see, and if you're on Gravity, you can just go over to invest, and now they got a new guy, the Spotlight. So they've got all these different funds, and they show their performance. And here's us down here, and you can see the chart. You can see the last 2 weeks we've had a little bit of trouble because it was an uncertain market, and I'm okay with that. I fully expected that.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you want to invest, you just click on it, and away you go. And send us some money, would you? Come on, because the more money we have, the bigger stick will swing, and you'll see some crazy stuff happen. Anyways, so we have a little position on right here. We actually sold. This morning on this spike up, we had a limit order sitting up there, so we're out of most of this position. So it's just a small position left, or up a couple $100 or something. So not much going on. So all we're really going to do right now is trade the range. Once come back down here, well, guess what? I'm going to buy some more. I might put other orders. I don't like to leave orders in the market too much. I'll leave a few orders in there, fine. Leaving a few $1,000 worth or something. I do leave limit orders to sell if we get a spike. Not usually all the allocation, but some of it, because a lot of times you get those wicks and then right back down. But that's our plan, and we're just going to stick to that for now. Well, why don't we take a look at the liquidity heat map and the max pain? First of all, let me just refresh it. Make sure this is refreshed. It's the 13th today, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is really taking a while here. What's going on?
Please wait.
Please wait. Okay. Well, while that's loading, let's go over to the. This is the liquidation heat map financed through Binance, and we can see this is the 24 hours. So in 24 hours, max pain is down here, or not max pain, but most liquidity, is 102.3. So about $500-$600 lower than it is now, right? Sort of in this area down here, where I happen to have a buy order.
Right. Yeah.
Coincidence, right? I don't mind being part of that liquidity if I want to take it.
But
now,
we're on the other side of it, yeah. So we'll be buying when they're selling, yeah.
Now, really, if you think if it's going to get punched, well, I should probably lower that order a little bit lower. Okay. And I could. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can do it right now because I'm not trading logged in. But a lot of times I'll put my orders just below those areas of liquidity, expecting to get punched and then to go back up. Now, on the upside, because we could go up for all we know, right? 104.5. And this is just in the next 24 hours, so until tomorrow. Today is Thursday, so tomorrow's also options expiry day. It's just a weekly expiry. It's not a huge one. Let's just go a little further out. We'll look at 3 days out.
3 days back.
What?
This is the liquidation levels built up over the past 3 days.
Yeah. 3 days. There's not much on the downside.
Yeah, it's true.
A little bit down here at 100,000.
Yeah.
But most of it's kind of up here. You kind of think, geez, are they going to hunt that?
So so a lot of people have shorted the market, whether through options or through all through shorting with futures. So feels like sort of 105 would be a target for liquidity hunting, right?
Yeah, yeah, and look, we've got it. We've got an order to sell at 104.8,
Yeah.
104.9. So we want to be in front of the liquidity when we're selling, or and then on the other side when we're buying, if it punches through. Let's just take a quick look out, like a week.
It's worth stressing. So we are conservative in our buy orders and we're aggressive in our sell orders because we want to be the first to sell and the last to buy. And if we don't buy, we're not bothered. We can always get in later. Because there's the old saying, better to be out wishing you were in than in wishing you were out, right?
That applies to different aspects of life too.
Quite.
Now, if we look at 1 week, totally different picture. Yeah, sure, a little bit of liquidity up here at 105, but man, has it ever built up down here just under 100K?
Danger zone there. Yeah.
Interesting, right? So short dated, yeah, we could have some spike ups, but I'm not going to bet the farm we're going to 110 or anything right now. Of course, Bitcoin is subject to news and Trump tweets and all kinds of things like that. But that's a very interesting, very telling. So we kind of expect this 100K to get punched. So really, do I want to aggressively be buying right in front of 100? Not really. But I'll pick up some here, pick up some down here, and look for this cycle to continue. But if it really wants to go down, and if we're long, I'll probably take it out with a small loss. I don't have no problem with that. And then either short or reload at a lower price, which is what we were kind of expecting when all these shenanigans were happening.
Yeah.
We were expecting it to punch at least deep into the 90s, into the 90s. And I think that's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Personally, but again, we're anything can happen. We get all kinds of news.
I can't help feeling that if we close below 100 on a week, then the people will have the whole weekend to reflect on how depressed they feel, and then Monday will be sell off.
And we can also take a look at the max pain, maybe if it ever shows up here. There we go. Okay, excellent. So today's 13th. So here's tomorrow's open interest. So this is tomorrow's Friday. Is Friday, and max pain is around 106,000.
Yeah. So this is implying the options market is inviting the spot market to 106 in order to cause maximum pain to options holders. It kind of makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised to see it get to 100. I'd be pleased actually to see it get to 106 for tomorrow. And then, but the big one is the 28th, the end of the month.
End of the month, yeah. And max pain is up here at 108.
Interesting, right? Yeah. I mean, so if it turns out that the option market is more powerful for the next week than the 2 weeks than the liquidation levels, and we stay at 106 to 8ish, then actually that might give people confidence that 100K is a long way away, which of course will set them up for huge disappointment in December. But,
and it should be noted that 100K, they did defend that area aggressively. They tried twice and it got rejected hard. Again, doesn't mean it won't break on the third, fourth, fifth attempt, but you never know. But look, this 108 is 2026. This is January, right?
Yeah.
So here's November, December. There's
no liquidity,
nothing going on for some reason, and then January is also 108.
Yeah. It's
kind of interesting.
It is, and in fact that was basically 108 flat for the whole of the year. It looks like people have been selling calls up at 115 out in, goodness me, next year. September next year.
Yeah, that feels aggressive.
Yeah, that's
but people might have been forced to do that.
Yeah,
So, do you want to run through some of the
we can have
the risk reversals?
Are we still logged in here?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we just have to refresh again because I had it off.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Good times.
There we go. So also if it's 10 as well. Okay. So again, from last time, I can reiterate that the indicators I'm looking at are the 10 delta risk reversals on the options market. This is the difference between 10 delta calls and 10 delta puts in price. In volatility, and a -5 is kind of normal. That's kind of telling us that the market's not afraid of a drop. which is interesting, right? Because to me, the markets feel fragile. But I think there's a case of the at the beginning of the week, the TradFi tech markets were looking fragile, and then yesterday they got a bit of a boost, and today, of course, last night, the deadlock in the US,
the shutdown, government shutdown,
has finished. So there'll be a bit of an uptick today or there's an anticipated uptick in markets, which has taken some of the fear away. But in my view, this is a false hope, because this does not change the signal that Twitter has just figured out that Sam Altman's going to run OpenAI into bankruptcy pretty soon, unless he gets $1 trillion bailout, which the government have told him he's not going to get. So you've got, I think there's a danger of the unraveling of the AI fairy tale, and there's no way that doesn't impact everything, because it's just too big. So it feels to me like calls are slightly cheaper than puts, but not much cheaper. Therefore, it feels to me like calls are expensive and puts are cheap to me. So,
and this leads to my thoughts that I think we're probably going to be range bound for a while. So I'm just going to trade the range for now. And I do expect a little poke down aggressive, or a little poke up. Maybe we'll go up to 110 or something crazy. And maybe scare the pants off some people, but I don't really feel it would go beyond 100K right now. I think beyond 108.
Yeah, I'm a seller at 110, and I'm a massive seller at 114, as I was last week.
Yeah. So we'll do that. No position right now. We're going to bet the farm on. But I do feel that the market's stabilized, and I do kind of wonder as we go into the end of the year, as we get deeper into November and closer to the end of the calendar year, if we're going to close out relatively smoothly. Bitcoin's still going to have 3 or 4% moves, sure, because it's Bitcoin and that's what it does. But a big range break, I think we'll need a catalyst for it. Now that they've defended the 100K.
The only upside catalyst would be, I don't know, China decides that it's going to have Bitcoin as a sovereign currency. Yeah, which is like 0% chance, right?
Yeah, or maybe the Treasury or something, U.S. Treasury.
Again, I think they've got bigger problems to worry about, right? They've got this massive. If the U.S. economy is already in trouble, they can't afford unpopular experiments, and that would be a massively unpopular experiment with most people. I mean, it would be massively popular with holders of Bitcoin and people in crypto. Sure, right? But we're in the minority,
You feel like there would need to be some sort of big event in order for them to then justify whether they create that event or not, which governments are famous for doing. Here's a problem, and guess what? We have a solution.
Quite.
I do agree. To just swap it out would cause.
But the list of things that could cause a downside move are huge.
Yeah,
it is huge, right? So I think caution.
Yeah, and that's why we don't want to take any super big positions. We're happy just to trade the range, and if it does break low and we take a hit on one of those trades, so be it. Yeah. I've got no problem with that.
I think if I felt that there was downward momentum, I'd be happy to jump on it from here.
Yeah, well, I shorted it when we broke out that first time or two, and of course it bit me in the backside.
Yeah. Well,
and that doesn't mean I'd be scared to do it again. That's trading, right? It happens.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it takes a few cracks, before it breaks.
I'm thinking that even if it gets to like 105 and we start to see it rot, then I think I'd be happy to short it there to buy back at 103. That kind of little trade.
Yeah, just playing in the range. It goes down here, we buy it. Goes up here, we sell it. And I don't pick one target and just sell the whole load. I sell it on bits on the way up, just in case it doesn't go up and comes back down. You don't want to be holding the whole bag. It sucks when you see, I'm up $3,000 on something. The next day, it's negative $3,000. Why didn't I take some off, right? Right now, there's no conviction in the market. There's no reason to, be hell bent on a particular price target, except the 108s, 106 and 108, because that's where we've got max pain levels. And if we're looking more than a week out, we've got mass liquidity below 100K.
That would be interesting if we went up to 108 for expiry and then drop down to like 85
Wouldn't that be something?
mid-December and then back
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
108 expiry in December.
Yeah.
That would hurt a lot of people.
And if you're not sure, depending on the type of trader you are, if you stay in front of the screen all the time, or if you look at your phone once a day to trade, let's just say we went up to 108 or something crazy, and we crashed down, and you think there's a chance you're going to take out that liquidity. Well, just if you want to buy, you don't know if that level is going to break or not. Just be light. Just be light. Just be light. So if it does go all the way down to 92, well, you know what? Your average price is going to be 98, 96, something reasonable you could expect the bounce to get to. You can scale into things. I know a lot of people say don't scale in, but as long as you're doing it very lightly and very carefully, not aggressively, and those limits where it's going to go in your average price, then I've got no problem with it. I scale in and I scale out all the time.
I think the trick with scaling is to, first of all, fix your maximum exposure.
Yeah.
And say, I'm going to scale in linearly until I'm at that max exposure, rather than I'm going to go in with a full Bitcoin and then it drops $5,000, so I double it to 2 and martingale it out.
Yeah.
Because that's a sure way to go bust. Right? You've got to be gentle. Bitcoin is still a 45 vol asset this year. You can make a lot of money without leverage on Bitcoin, just by trading the ranges.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, I don't really think we have a lot of other price predictions, because our trading right now is just saying, well, everything's sort of neutral. We've got the downside risk we have to be aware of. The risk to the upside probably doesn't go beyond 110, I wouldn't think. Again, unless there's a news catalyst, I'm happy to short it. And this is the first time in trading Bitcoin where I'm saying, you know what, I'm really comfortable being short.
Yeah, it no longer feels like there's this danger of a God candle.
Yeah, because before, oh my gosh, we go from 100 to 200, geez, I don't know, maybe, it's possible, I suppose. But
I think because Twitter's also full of the news of whales are selling Bitcoin to institutions, and so they're kind of scaling out of their positions because they want to go and live their lives now rather than live like hermits hoarding Bitcoin. I think in reality they're not selling as many Bitcoins as they were on the peak of the last cycle back in 20, whatever it was, 21, 20. But they are selling the same amount in notional value. So there's this sense that they've got this sense that this is like near the top. So now's the time to convert to cash, to, if you believe in the 4-year cycle, in order to give them the cash to live like millionaires for the next 4 years, and then wait for the next rally up. I'm not entirely convinced that the 4-year cycle will continue anymore, because I think it's less relevant than it used to be. I think the sentiment of Wall Street is far more important than that these days, and the interest rates and so on, right?
And once an asset matures, those things, that's part of that whole maturation process.
What about Ethereum? What do you think
Let's
about
check
Ethereum?
out our old friend Ethereum. Come on, just where is theirs? There's Ethereum.
2.5K. Well,
it's pretty steady. I don't know if a lot of you guys trade Ethereum. We do from time to time.
Yeah, I find Ethereum terrifying because there's
my favorite thing.
It could be $100 and still be useful, and it could be $5,000 and still be useful. Right? There's nothing to tell you what the price should be, other than just supply and demand, and which is entirely in the hands of a few whales. But I kind of think that probably, if Bitcoin's rotting sideways, Ethereum will probably rot harder. That's kind of my feeling. So I think down is more likely than up in Ethereum, and I think. But it's interesting that if you look at the price chart of Ethereum over the past 5 years, I think every year it touches 3.5K. Something I don't know whether we've got the graph.
This is the daily
in Gravity.
Daily chart. Well, why don't we have the?
Because Gravity's only this old, so there's no more data.
I'm thinking, what's going on here?
But if you look on something like
TradingView or something,
TradingView or whatever, you'll see that this 3.5K level is kind of a midline through where it gets to. It gets up to 4.5K, it drops down to 2.5K, it gets up and down.
Bit of a magnet, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, on a long time scale, right?
Yeah.
And longer than you might be comfortable to stay short or long. But yeah, but my feeling on Ethereum is probably down more likely than up. But I'm low conviction with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, because it can move so fast in a day that it can kill you. So
here's our old friend Ripple. Every now and then we'll trade it, but it's not very common we trade it. But that's a pretty good move there from 231 to 251.
There's still this kind of residual hope, isn't there, that Ripple's going to become part of this banking infrastructure.
Yeah.
I think it's complete nonsense, but
a few months ago that was the big rumor everywhere, and people were rushing in to buy it, right?
But I think narratives are powerful. We've seen that with altcoins, right? So
yeah, I look at this chart and I just feel like I just don't want to get involved.
Right.
It just does not interest me. I just.
There's no clear trend here, right? Well, it's just gentle sideways rot.
Yeah. I think we'll stick with Bitcoin for now. If we can get this fund up to $1 million plus, then fine, we can start to put 25 or 50K towards some other coins and some strategies we might want to run. By that time, hopefully, Gravity will also have options trading. And we can really have fun with some different strategies and showcase those strategies each week.
Yeah.
And compare the returns. Some strategies might not perform well in certain markets with certain products, but we'll see. So that'll be something fun we can do. So we had a little bit of a bounce up here, since we started talking, because I think when we started talking, we're right down near this entry price, and now we're
well, I mean,
$500 or so.
It's just a day in Bitcoin, isn't it? It's not really a move.
It's a minute in Bitcoin, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we sign off for the day?
No, because I think anything I might say now is going to be invalidated when the US market opens after the end of the shutdown. Because it's actually in the balance, in my view, whether this is going to be cause the US markets to rip, or whether it's going to cause them to die. In a case of sell the news, right? Because until now you've had the excuse, earnings or numbers or economy numbers have either not been present or have been bad because of the shutdown, and people aren't getting paid, and you can build all kinds of excuses. Right? And the narrative is that now that the government can pay people, those people will suddenly have money, and they'll go and buy assets and bitcoins and Ethereums and whatnot. But in reality, they've probably got credit card debts because they haven't been paid for the past 2 months.
Yeah. You want to eat and stuff. And
pay their school fees. So it might well be a sudden hard hit that actually the US consumer is not doing as well as we thought, and actually there's nothing to celebrate. And then there's nothing really to hold us up.
Yeah, and we saw the markets really got hammered yesterday, with the exception of things like AMD. There's always one or two standouts, but
I was really lucky with AMD. I fat fingered it and bought like 10x more stock than I meant to, and luckily it went the right way.
Every now and then, the trading gods smile upon you. I know you'd bought AMD yesterday afternoon, but I didn't know you'd bought more than
I was crapping myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't tell my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So to sum up, our strategy right now is just play the range for now. Be aware there's a big bunch of liquidity sitting right around 100, 9900K. That's 1 week out, or 1 week in time, and gosh darn it, you feel like they're going to take another run at it. Yeah. It might hold. Yeah. It might just punch through and go straight back up to 105. But be aware that if it does break it and stay below it, we're probably going to be low 90s, high 80s or something if there's a big event.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to gently go through and then gently go down to 97 and sit there for a while. It could happen, but that's not usually the way big levels break.
Imagine how you'd feel, right, if the market's at 98 and you're sitting there for 3 days and you're thinking, I hope it goes up, I hope it goes up.
Yeah.
But it never does. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel, screw it, sell it. Right.
Yeah,
and everyone's going to feel the same way.
There'll be a lot of stop orders, in the mid 90s, because people are going to say, "Hey, you know what? We might have another little wick through. I'm happy to hold. Maybe I'm long at 101 or something. I'm happy to hold down here, But eventually, oh my gosh, it's really going. Let's just get out and take the loss.
Yeah.
And there'll be all kinds of trigger orders
Yeah.
through the 90s, which is going to accelerate it going down. So
And everyone's going to be short. I can tell you, because I'm an options trader, anyone who's short options will be short 95k puts.
yeah,
And if it goes down there, they're going to get terrified and they're going to buy those puts back, and the market will drive down further.
yeah, they'll have to roll them out to
Yeah.
90,
They
85.
may
or
not
whatever.
even roll them. They might be so terrified.
Yeah,
They roll them to
Yeah.
calls.
yeah, could be, or roll them to strangles or something.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it for today. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So happy trading, everyone, and we will catch you next week.